So we are going to cover today exactly how you as a freelancer videographer or perhaps agency owner can scale to 20k months without working harder. Now this isn't going to be some wish-washy bullshit video of all about motivation and mindset. Although that does play a big part, this is just going to be practical steps that you can take right now, whether you're watching this whilst working or putting it on whilst you're going for a drive, and some hard truths that you kind of have to be comfortable with. Now I've got my notes up here ready with me, and I've got a couple of points that I'm going to cover, and without wasting any time, let's get straight into it. So the first point that I want to cover is that 20k per month as a business does not mean doing more of the same of what you're doing now, if that makes sense. So I'm going to repeat that again. 20k per month as a business does not mean doing more of the same business you're doing now. Now, a lot of videographers and agency owners, they would think that scaling means more volume. Scaling means having more team members. Scaling means doing more of everything they're doing right now. But in actual fact, if I was to, let's say, present a scenario of one particular individual, let's call him Timothy, and on the second hand, we'll have Isabel. Timothy, on one hand, he is running a business he's not running a business, he is a videographer. He also shoots photography content. He's doing about 2 to 3k a month on average. Some months may spike, some months may be as low as £500 or 1k, because these are all random one-off projects. He has no marketing mechanism. He has no branding to him. He is nothing more than just a content shooter. Now with Timothy, his problem is that if he continued to scale to 20k months with that same offer he has, that same structure, getting more clients under that particular mechanism, how realistic could that be for him to get to 20k months, and how long could he sustain and maintain that at 20k months? The answer is not very fucking long, because it will only be a matter of time till he burns out, till he fucking decides to jump off a cliff because everything is just piling up and the editing for that client is getting delayed. This client is messaging him at 11 p.m. or just before he's getting into bed. He can't catch up with his latest TV series. It's hell. It's not going to work. And a lot of you guys are most likely, like Timothy, in that same position. Now let's look at Isabel's situation, where she is now an agency owner. She's doing about 3k a month, fairly low numbers, but it's retainers. It's monthly consistent income for her. Whether that's 1 or 2 clients, she's making 3k a month. And she's got one offer to one niche, and it's solving one problem. Very streamlined, very easy. There's no need for her to change her deliverables, change her scope of work, because it's just one scope of work she's doing for that one demographic. Now, for her to scale, all she has to do is sell that one product to multiple different people at the same price point, but eventually leading into a higher price point because her value will have increased by then. And voila, she's now got a model of clients who are paying her 1.5 to 3k a month, working with only 5 to 6 clients, and she's hit past the 10k a month barrier that she once thought was a myth. And eventually when she hits her way to 20k months, it's going to be with less clients, with better systems, SOPs in place, a team of fucking Avengers that are going to be taking care of all of the work for her. So her sole duty at that point will be client maintenance, client onboarding, sales and marketing. The dream life that we all want. But why is it so different between the two? And why is Isabel only able to do it when Timothy is having to struggle to 20k a month? He's having to fucking carry a log of wood to go up that mountain of 20k a month, when it doesn't have to be if you carry the structure that Isabel has, and you can glide there very easily. So when you are in Timothy's position, the work starts very early on, but it will break as you grow. Whereas with Isabel's situation, it's been implemented from the get-go in terms of the foundations, what clients she should bring on, what clients are red flags, etc. But essentially what happens with Timothy's model is that the more you are stuck in that model, the model will start to fail, and it's going to fail on you, and you're going to fail on the model, and you don't want that to happen. It's a very disgusting sight where you burn out. You don't want to go through that, and it's hell. So essentially what you want to do is you want to try scale something that is able to handle getting to 20k months, because that model that Timothy had, there's just so many leaks in that bucket, and its operations, its team, its systems, where you need to have that kind of made from the get-go. So the way you've kind of scaled to where you are now is not going to be the same way you're going to scale to 20k months. That is the first key takeaway I want to cover. The second key takeaway I want to cover is that the 5k model will break at 20k a month. Now at 3 to 5k, you can get away with a lot. You can over deliver, you can fix things manually, you can stay in late and doing the work. There's more room to actually wing it in that sense. But at 20k a month, you'll have more clients. And having more clients will mean having more expectations. And with more clients, you're obviously going to do more work. There's going to be more delivery, and that means more moving parts. Now, what felt manageable before at the 5k model that you are at now will feel like you're under a bit of pressure when you're at 20k a month. Now, this isn't to scare you guys away from it. It's just to kind of let you guys in on a bit more of a realistic day in the life or behind the scenes of what it takes to become a 20k a month agency owner. If you don't have the heart for it and you're not made for that life, then if you're going to be comfortable staying where you are, and you're going to keep looking at these YouTube videos of trying to scale, but you're never going to take action because you're too scared. Now, getting to 20k a month doesn't necessarily mean you're too scared to get there. Sorry, what I mean to say is that fear shouldn't be what's stopping you from growing your agency. Because if you know how to scale, if you know exactly how to kind of manage the workload and the client flow and expectations and delivery and managing your team, then 20k a month will be piss easy. You'll have so much fun getting there than you would be when you are making 20k a month, because it's all about the journey, right? The 5k model that you are operating at reveal a lot of what's broken, the structures you need to implement, and the structures you need to fix. But the reality at 20k a month is not as daunting as it seems if you have the right systems and the infrastructure in place holding the foundations, and then you being able to build from that foundation upwards. Now, the third takeaway is that more clients will equal more weight naturally. On top of the foundation that you built, more clients that you add on will have more weight, not only on your shoulders, but on the business's shoulders too. Every new client will have new responsibilities, more messages, more edits, more back and forth, which is natural. It's business, right? You're working with more clientele. Nothing is leveraged if you're involved in everything. If you're running that 5k model and you're doing everything from the editing to the ideation to the client messaging to the communications to everything, but it only revolves around you and you alone can move the business forward at that point, then of course everything is going to feel so much heavier, because without you, the business does not move. Now, that's not true leverage. We need to anoint leverage in a way where the business can still run without us. Now, even when revenue goes up, if you're at the 20k per month model, it shouldn't feel heavier. It should feel better. It should feel lighter, in the sense that there's not mental stress on you. You have the systems to actually onboard the clients, take them through a system, take them through a process to be aware of what's working or what they're expected, what to expect from you and what you expect from them. And then you get to the shoot day, and then you can work with them for 6 to 12 months streamlined. That is the end goal of what it has been for me and how it has been working for my previous students in the program who have hit past that mark, and the guys who are on their way there. That's what we're working on for them. Building that 20k a month model where the clients do not add on more weight to the business. They don't add more stress or headache. Whereas if you are running the 5k per month model, the reason why you feel like every time you onboard a client, it's just added more pressure. Like, you're not as excited as you should be. But rightly so, because you don't have the systems, you don't have the back end, and you don't have the know-how of making sure they come on into the business, into whatever business you've built at that point. Actually streamline them into an efficient model that takes them from onboarding to then becoming an actual client, and then retaining that client past the 3-month mark. Because a lot of the times you guys are signing these clients over 3 months, 4 months, and bye-bye at the end of 3 months. There's no conversation for them to want to stay on because of the shit time you've given them. So growth as an agency to 20k a month should not feel like things are stacking on top of you. It should feel like you have the game plan to now attack the market, and those who are ready to work with you are going to come and want you. And it's just building a business at that point, rather than just feeling like things are just piling up and adding more pressure to your situation. Now, the fourth point that I want to talk about is the shift. Move from relying on effort into structure. Now, you need to stop asking yourself, how do I get more clients with a model that's already broken? Instead, you should be asking, what kind of business can grow without me? That is the biggest question that will answer a lot of unopened can of worms, if I could say. That's the best analogy I could give. Because when you have that focus into your own business, you'll start looking into, okay, cool, how can I increase repeat customers? How can I have more clarity in my messaging, my marketing, my sales conversations? How can I make the delivery flow better from an onboarding customer to through the whole middle part of, us retaining their documents, us understanding who they are, more about what their goals are, how can we help them, the strategy, till the end part of we finally got them to their goals and their dream outcome. How can we show them that they need to continue working with us to now get to the second stage or whatever. When you shift from actually implementing structure into the business you're trying to build, into getting towards the 20k per month mark, you'll notice that the growth will feel more linear rather than it feeling reactive. Because if it's feeling reactive, it's only going to move when you are ready to move. But how are you going to grow the business if you're stuck doing all of those things for your clients? Doesn't make sense, right? And I've had situations where students have come into the program and they've proclaimed that they are already so busy. How are they going to put time aside to growing the business with myself and through the program? But when we actually looked into it, when we actually did a deep dive into it, it was just stupidity. It's just scattered across the board of they were doing this, they were doing that, but they didn't know how to delegate, they didn't know this could be done. And before you know it, they joined the program. They've already saved 5-10 hours a week. And lo and behold, we've managed to free up time for them to now progress the business, and hence why they've been able to progress the business to 10-20k months. When growth becomes intentional, you're going to see much better results rather than it feeling reactive and it being reactive because of the model you're operating from. Now, another point that I really want to highlight is delivery. Delivery at 5k per month and 20k per month is a very different reality, in the sense that when you're at the 5k per month mark, majority of you guys don't know what the hell you're selling. You don't understand how you can repeat that product to multiple different clients, and it's always a different scope of services. It's always a different deliverable to each and every client. Now, if your client is different in the sense of the work you're actually pushing out to them, if each and every client requires a different set of onboarding, a different set of ideation, a different set of execution, you're just building yourself a web of so many different layers of stickiness. Oh, I don't even know if that's the best way to say it, but it's just like you're gonna get caught in these little layers in the web. You're gonna keep creating yourself more problems. If not now, it will eventually come down the line. Because when those 3-4 clients you're working with eventually get to the point of you've hit 10k a month, and those clients are now asking for so many different revisions, so many different requests, and you have to now dedicate 2 hours to this person, 4 hours to that person, a whole day to that person. They're all different problems, and that only happened because you allowed it to. Now, the 20k per month model, the reason why it's so different there with delivery is because we actually know who we're selling to. We can actually repeat the product across 100 customers. If we get 10 customers, we can do it for the next 100 customers because it's the same product, the same message, the same offer. We're solving the same problem in the one niche, where it's like a factory, the factory belt, where not everything is different, and the 3D printer that actually packages the products to then put it into the box to go to delivery. Think of it like that. The delivery belt is what's holding your product. The box is what's going to ship off the product to your customers, but the actual machine that's popping out the products on the factory belt is your service, is your scope of work. Now, if each and every one of those things being popped onto the delivery belt is different products, different things, the printer might not have the capacity to wrap every single individual product the right way, the best way. It's not going to be 100% because the printer doesn't have the capacity to be aware of so many different problems from so many different products, so many different dimensions, all of these things. So when you see in the delivery box, you'll get one product that's 99% wrapped. You'll get another product that's like 20% wrapped. You give that off to the client. Guess what? The one that received the 20% product is going to be fucking fuming. You lost the client and you're just bashing yourself against your laptop, looking at videos. I'm trying to figure out where things are going wrong. Now, if we take the same scenario, but instead the only product that's being built on the product or the factory built is one product. One product that the machine that packages it all up can do at a 99% rate. Put them in the box, that's going to get shipped off. And in the box, all the clients that are picking out these products are 99% satisfied with the product, your scope of services, your delivery, and your work. So you tell me, which one's more easier to scale? Which one would you have more fun working and enjoying your time with? And I'm hoping you would say the 20k per month model. Inconsistency in delivery will be fucking chaotic to scale, because you can't scale where you have shit systems like that. It's impossible, which is, again, one of the key things we focus on in the one-to-one programs that I work with on my programs, which is exactly why we look into the operations and how you've been doing things in my one-to-one private program. I know that might have been a cheeky upsell there, but I'm going to keep shouting it from the rooftops. We have something that works. We are changing lives here, and my goal here is simple. I want to continue changing as many videographers and agencies' lives that I can. If you are interested in wanting to know more about what this is and how this actually works with regards to the one-to-one program with me, or just check the link in the bio, drop me a DM, the word engine, and then yeah, we'll see from there if that's something I can help you with. And look, for the last point I just want to wrap this up with is the harsh truth. You are not experiencing a lack of leads. You are not experiencing a lack of content. You are not experiencing a lack of effort, my friend. Simply, it's how your agency or how your current setup is structured. If your business, if your current gig needs more time from you for it to grow, it's not built right. It's built Very wrong. That's what I want you to become more aware of. That's what you need to understand, that in order for you to make the shift from 5k a month to 20k a month, it's all structure. It's all the surface beneath, not surface beneath, but it's all beneath the surface of what you've built. The minute we can fix the foundations, the minute we can actually see within and then allow you to build from that point onwards, then you're going to have a much more stronger pillar to stand from than where you are now, where it's all shaky and you're trying to grow and you fall back down and it's not working right. I'm sorry there's no animations for this. I'm sorry I'm leaving it to your imagination, but I'm hoping that this is resonating with you, because I went through all of that same shit too, which is why I'm able to, I guess, speak so clearly from it, because I've been there and I've seen it happen day in and day out when I'm having these one-to-one calls with my students. Now, for you guys listening or watching through this, you really need to come to the understanding of there needs to be internal shifts made, not only within yourself of how you want your business to operate and for it to be structured, but then also the actual physical changes you need to make to your business of how the fuck do I get from mess of shit that I'm in now to running the eventual business of how I would want my 20k a month business to operate at fewer clients. Now, this is me talking about the 20k per month version of yourself who's already there. How many clients would they have? What types of clients would they have? What would be their scope of delivery? How would their branding look? All of these questions that you would ask, these are the steps that you should be taking to get to that point eventually. Now, if this video gave you some harsh truths and I hope a lot of value, then please do subscribe, because I am going to be doing more of these videos where I don't know what I want to call it. I'm just going with the flow here, but I'm just hoping that these raw topics and the rawness of how I'm answering these questions resonate with you guys a lot more better. And if there is a certain topic, if there is a certain idea that you want me to discuss or want my opinions on, just drop it in the comments below. And yeah, I hope you guys have a great day and I'll catch you on the next one.